Welcome to today's Fireside Chat with Jesse. I am joined today by Tina Stember, Director of Operations for instaCover. Thanks, Tina, for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's good to see you again.
No, absolutely. It's been, I want to say probably 6 weeks since we first met, which is kind of crazy. What was it, a Tomorrow Zone, one of Deb Rubin's unconferences. And,
yeah, that was such a fun conference. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So for those of people who aren't familiar with Deb Rubin's Tomorrow Zone or the Unconference series, it's, I don't know, what do you say, alternative ways to look at how business is done. And one of our homework assignments was coming up with music in regards to periods in your life. And it's kind of like, do I really want to open up to people I don't know and share my story? But hey, it worked out well, and it was thoughtful. I mean, 2 hours, right? Or typically how those go? Yeah. Flew by.
The technology, the idea of that music, what brings it back to you, childhood. You hear a song and you're like, oh, I remember when. And being able to share it with complete strangers was brilliant. It really does allow that vulnerability and trust. There, great. That's how we met.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. And look where we're at now. It's perfect. And your background is fantastic. I see your cat is finally moved, so he's cleaning himself there. So
yeah, Jack is my work buddy. He's always in the same room when I'm working. So I didn't want to move him. It's like,
No, I'm sure. Like, if you've seen any of these before, I'll get pets that just kind of go in and out. Maybe a kid, maybe a duck.
Yeah, duck. That's hilarious.
Just never know. So Tina, for the people who aren't familiar with yourself, do you mind just kind of explaining your career in equipment finance to date?
Yeah, I can. It's a good question. And so my name is Tina Stember, and I'm the operations director at instaCover. I started in 2007.
Okay.
That is, I had to stop back and think about it. I was like, oh, that was a long time ago. I had been in the banking industry and the telecom industry for a very long time, and I was looking for a new career. I stumbled on this one. I was not on purpose going out and looking for leased equipment, insurance company.
No.
That was not at all in my drop down of what I wanted to do. But I was lucky enough to stumble into this, the founder of instaCover, Dan Hoff. He's an idea guy and just a brilliant sales guy. Needed to have somebody that had operation mind, somebody that could put processes and procedures around things. And for me, it was a part-time job. It was just something that I was going to help Dan get started with. And lo and behold, all these years later, it's evolved and I'm still here. I've done a lot of roles within instaCover. I've done sales, marketing, a little bit of everything. But honestly, where my strength came in was thinking of processes, procedures, the technology side of it. So yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Clearly, this is my next career path 15 years later.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, more often than not, that's how you hear about, people getting in this industry, is they just kind of stumble upon it. And once you're in, it's addicting. The people are fantastic to work with, to partner with, and you just kind of stay.
That's what I found when there's a few of us that started with the company, and we'd go to shows, and the industry and the people and the relationships that were out there. Who would have known? It's just a great space to be in. So, yeah.
Nope, I agree. And as someone who's been on the sales side for my 16 years, I got in the industry in 2005. We need people like you to keep us in check. because we're like, we're not all yes people. However, you find creative ways to structure deals. I mean, come on, you got to walk that line sometimes. And, operations people like yourself need to be able to kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's the chicken and the egg thing, right? Is it sales or is it operations, right? And there's this perfect balance of yin and yang. And I know that to be very true in our company. Our sales team will come in honestly and say, well, I just got back from a show and, well, told them we could do this. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it. So I get it.
So I guess speaking of, instaCover, I've been friends with a few individuals at instaCover, even on social media for years, and I still didn't know what they did until you and I met like 6 weeks ago. I'm sorry, I'm a little embarrassed by that, but could you just explain what you guys do, if you don't mind?
Oh, absolutely. So we're both an insurance agency and a technology platform. Okay. So we support, our insurance agency allows us to quote and deliver insurance to meet funders' requirements. So our customers are brokers, lessors, funders, and with the touch of a button, they can log into instaCover and put said equipment into a quote, hand it to their customer, and activate it, which then leads to a quicker funding. And that's basically the success of it, right? Is to be able to do something quick and easy. So that's fundamentally what we do, but our product lines are not just equipment. Our product lines bleed into medical imaging and rental waivers, service contracts, warranties. So the insurance part of it, and it's funny because insurance is such a 4-letter word to most people. They're like, oh, I have to have insurance to fund a deal. The thing about instaCover is it's easy. And the relationships that we've built over the years and our sales team have gone out, and again, the idea of being able to get insurance quick and easy, when it first started, most of the industry was still using the 3-tiered, the white, yellow, pink, insurance ticket, right?
Right.
Technology allows us to be innovative and strategic and thoughtful on what's a pain point in the industry? How can we help that pain point be easy? And so my role really has been part with the sales team. The sales team will go out and find the pain point within the industry. This is what we need. Do you have a solution? It's very solution driven. And then the sales team comes back and they're like, well, this is what we know. Okay, great. Let's do it. And that's how we've evolved to out into different industries. But ultimately, it's insurance that allows the funding to get done quick and easy.
Well, and when someone has a deal that they want to get, everyone wants to approve 100% of the deals, even though it's not feasible. The last thing you want to do is something outside of the financial terms to prevent you from moving forward. So I could definitely see where that would be a definite advantage for organizations. My question I have for you is, so is it forced place insurance or is it any type of insurance?
Well, it's not forced placed necessarily. It's an opt-in. So basically our clients can go in, put their equipment in, get a quote, pass it to their customer, and their customer agrees to it. And then they put it back into the system. We do the billing and collecting for the brokers and the funders as well, right? So they'll put the insurance on, they'll put the billing information on there, then they're free of it. We bill the customer and keep the insurance either on. And if the customer finds other insurance and it meets the requirements of the funder, they can cancel it. That's fine. They'll contact us and we'll cancel it. one of the brilliant parts about our certificates and the coverage is the certificate has the term of the lease. So if it's a 12-month lease or funding, the certificate's good for 12 months. If it's 60 months, it's good for 60 months. And what we find are the lessees like this insurance because they don't have to go to their company insurance. They don't need to go to any place else to add it.
Right.
And it prolongs things. And what we do find is that the lessees, even when they are done funding, they come back because we also do non-financed equipment insurance. So then the customers come with the coverage on that piece of equipment because we've had it the whole time.
That's fantastic. Like I said, I mean, it's just an extension of someone's business, and don't no longer have to worry about it. I mean, that's JDR is kind of similar in that, where it's like, hey, you go focus on getting the deal. We'll handle the servicing side, and that's another cog in the wheel. That's fantastic.
Right. Yeah, and the servicing part of it is what we do really well, right? We have brilliant salespeople that can go out and hear the pain points, find a solution,
right,
and can come back and find a way to make it happen. And then it does extend the service out, you know, and it creates the relationship between our customer and their customer.
Right.
So that relationship, we have a lot of customers that come back over and over and over again. So it's great. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I now know more than I did know 6 weeks ago, and hopefully everyone else does too. So as far as so what did 2020 do to your business on the insurance side?
Actually, the industry was fine. Insurance was fine.
Okay.
Being remote, and because the basis of the company is a platform and you just need to log in, our brokers and our customers, even though if they were sitting at home, they're still funding deals, still need insurance. Sure. So 2020 for us was actually a really good year. We were able to mobilize and be strategically there for our customers in every level to continue our service, both from the technology platform, customer service wise, and all of the other pieces to our business from home. That's
fantastic. So no, were you in an office 100% of the time prior to the pandemic, or were you working from home sometimes?
Yeah, no, we were in the office the whole time. So when the pandemic came, we did have a couple of bumpy roads. You know, we had to go into the office occasionally, right? We needed to make sure that the lights were still on. So we rotated, and you know, one person was in the office on a Monday or Tuesday, and so we kept rotation. So we kept the office and things like that. And now today, what we find, it's a benefit to be able to work from home, but we're also back in the office. And so you have the collaborative. Our culture is just so great in the way that we can work separately and then collaborate when we're all back together. And it just makes it for a great life balance.
That's fantastic. And yeah, we're starting to see a lot of the people now where it's like, oh yeah, we'll do a hybrid. And now it's like, no, you need to be in the office. And I kind of question that whole mentality in regards to effectiveness of employees and what does that do for a commute, everything else. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out over the next couple months.
Yeah, it's interesting. And we've talked about it, and it was just like, you know, we proved to ourselves as a team and to the industry that we're available at any time. It doesn't matter where we're at and what we do. And you still have partners that are still working. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's nice to be able to go to work at 6:30 in the morning and get your work done versus getting in a car, commuting, getting settled. So there's some efficiencies from working from home. And then they've got the animals and the kids and all the other components that disrupt your day. But then there's also something to be said about being in the office, collaborative with your teammates. And
Yeah, I think there's, I know that I've been using the term hybrid forever. Just it's nice when you're around your people because you have that sense of family and everything else. But I've been working remotely since 2011. So it's been 10 years now, and I get out of bed, take a quick shower, and I'm working like 10 minutes later. It's just as opposed to getting in a car and driving and nah.
I have to say that during the pandemic, I looked forward to going into the office. I looked forward to that day of normalcy. Get up, get ready, grab your coffee, get in the car. But getting and nobody else was there, that was hard to get used to for a while when you're in the right? So now going to the office and having everybody there and hearing the chatter, people on the phone, and being able to have a face meeting and having, run into somebody's office. I just came up with an idea, or, I just had the best phone call. I want to share it with somebody like immediately. So that excitement is great, but also working from home and heading into the office, which is like next door. Brilliant. So yeah, hybrid.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to the whole, small farm that we have here with our animals and young kids. And it seems like everything is like a perfect blend of quiet. And then you're on something like this. And then it's like, oh, this is going on. My phone's going off. You saw the TV screen. It's like, okay, I put on airplane mode. Why is someone, and like they're texting me because they have Phoenix Suns tickets for the finals, and I'm kind of like, can't really talk right now. I am sorry, but that's how this goes, right?
And the brilliant part about everybody's doing this, everybody's had that experience of working from, and some people that have been out that travel quite often, to be home would be a little bit of a shift, I would think, right? So it's something we can all relate to.
Nope, I understand, and if anything, it makes the people feel more human. I just remember as the pandemic was starting, we were doing a Zoom call, and the president of this 40-year-old equipment finance organization was frustrated because he couldn't hear the Zoom, and then he couldn't figure out the technology and everything else. But as the service provider, it's your fault for not having, right? So now it's like you sit there and it's like people are used to, okay, what do you mean this doesn't work? Or you go into a bank, right, and you can't get the Wi-Fi to work because it doesn't work, and it pisses everyone off. Sorry, pardon my language, because you're a service provider, you're not prepared, what's going on. Now all those people realize where it's like, oh yeah, technology is great when it works.
And when it doesn't, it doesn't.
And it's no one's fault. So just relax. Take 5 minutes. It's okay. And, be curious to see the level of patience maybe 12 to 18 months from now, if people still understand that, or if it's back to no, it's not working. See you later. Bye.
I would hope that everybody takes the lesson of the pandemic and the technology and how we had to evolve.
Yeah.
Stay with it. I have faith.
I have faith, but I also understand humanity. So I get both sides of it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave it. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. So have you traveled lately? Have you traveled at all in the last year and a half? No.
Yeah, I personally have traveled for personal reasons.
Okay.
But for the company, I typically don't do the traveling. I am typically the one that, keeps the office moving and grooving while everybody else is out and about. Hoping to change that over the next year. I've been talking about getting more expansive, getting me out there and understanding what technology and wanting to be innovative with the technology. How can our service be even better? And so as we move through 21 into 22, how can we take this and make it better? Now that everybody's back, So I'm really hoping to actually be in person at some point at some of these conferences. I know the team is completely excited about the September conferences and some of the October ones. So yeah,
no, it's one of those things where I think technology like this allows you to build relationships that you wouldn't have built before just via phone. However, if you're sitting there with a customer and you're face to face and you can have lunch and just spend that time, you're just gonna establish a deeper relationship and be able to dig into exactly what can be more efficient. What else can we do?
Yeah, and yeah, the technology has been really nice. We wouldn't have met had it not been for the technology.
Right? Fair.
And so I look forward to meeting you in person.
Yeah, no.
So the sales team is really excited to get out there and be in front of their customers again. And I think the humanity piece is a big deal. I think everybody has their story of what the pandemic either did for them or not for them. And so being able to see everybody in person is going to be more personal. I think
that's correct.
Is now personal. And I think
that
is going to be more authentic.
You hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I mean that's what happened with in Minnesota a couple weeks ago. We had I had my first Equipment Finance Cares event, and then we had a NEFA event right after, and there was 100 people between both of them. And you're sitting around having drinks, just it's like, okay. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that feeling of sitting down and going, I want to know you better. I knew you before, I want to get to know you better now. And I think business is just, especially in this industry, because of the loyalty in this industry, it's just going to boom. That's my
I mean, I agree. I mean, what was interesting is I had someone that I helped doing some consulting work for in between jobs, and he flew in from Texas for my event. Yeah. And I met him first time in person. He was at the concierge at the hotel, and I went up, and it was like we already knew each other because we've been interacting like this for the last 12 months. So that was different, as opposed to when you a voice to a face. Yep. You already do that. So I think that helps from a salesperson's perspective.
Yeah, but I think it's just from a human's perspective.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it doesn't really apply just to salespeople.
You gotta remember us operations people too.
Yeah. Sorry, creature of habit, Tina. Sorry. I always ask people on here a little fun fact about themselves. So sorry to kind of put you on the spot there, but what makes you tick outside of what you do for instaCover?
What makes me tick? Well, family. I love camping. I love music. I love being outside. The Pacific Northwest is just gorgeous. I love to travel. But a fun fact about me, and I think about it, and so I am the baby of 7. So the very last one.
Okay.
And my parents hadn't come up with a name yet. So my dad called me Gidget.
Sorry.
I found out a few years ago from one of my siblings that it took him 6 months to come up with Tina. So they had a family meeting. And so I went from Gidget to Tina. That's a little fun fact. So
okay, that's
ego over here is Gidget.
Fair enough. Mom, who are you talking to? Gidget, leave me alone.
Yep.
Go away.
So.
That's awesome. I don't know if I've ever heard the name Gidget before.
It was a TV show. It was it was a TV show in the 60s, 50s, 60s. Had to have been one of my dad's favorite shows. And
I don't know. I'm like, I think my age goes back to Chippendales Rescue Rangers, like Gadget. I want to say that was like one of them, but like, that's where my mind went. But anyhow, the stupid. it's the weird worthless trivia that that I'm good at. That you remember weird things, but anyhow.
Right? You remember certain things, and then you forget what you had for dinner last night. You know, the brain works.
Priorities.
That's right. Yeah. So I was Gidget for the first 6 months of my life until we landed on Tina.
That's fantastic. Oh, I picked a good name. Picked a good name. So just kind of wrapping up here. I know you kind of went into instaCover and what you guys do. Just at the end of the day, with the different insurance options out there for equipment finance companies, why go to instaCover over your potential competitors out there?
Well, why not? instaCover gives the finance companies, the brokers, and the lessees exactly what they need. Great coverage, a spread of opportunities or policies, technology easy, straight at your fingertips. The certificate is as good as long as the lease, so you don't have to do year over year renewals. So it's a one and done. instaCover does the billing and the collecting. We have other services we're working on right now that are more expansive to allow the entire process to be in a single, like a single space. So instaCover's mobility, the technology, our coverage is the best. So why not? We've been talking about technology this whole time, right?
That's the, and you say you're not, well, I guess you were in sales at one point, but come on, that's like, why not? It's the best sales answer anyone could ever get. I would do it just to work with you. That's fantastic.
Come on over.
Let's go. Now, when you say expanding, would that ever include title vehicles? Because I hear that all the time in regards to, no, I mean, registrations.
We are working on a solution for title product, and I will leave it with a ...
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just saying there's a huge need for that. People ask this all the time, and I'm like, there's work here. And they're like, there's a lot that goes into that. And I'm like, whatever.
So I will leave it with,
okay.
Yes, we are working on it, and I'll leave the trail.
It's fair. It's fair.
And when we get it, you'll be the first to know. Well, maybe not.
Oh. No, it's online. So if it's online, it must be true. So, all right, Tina. Well, always a pleasure getting to hang out with you. Appreciate you taking some time this morning, and hopefully our paths cross sometime in the near future.
I hope so. Thank you so much, Jesse. It's been great.
No problem. Have a great day.
Yep, you do the same.
All right.